Sahanavavatu Sahanabhunaktu Sahaviyankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. On the 26th, Tato bhumyadayo loka jyotishthomadi karmasu amrutakhyam svargaphalamitham sarvamajayata. The Srishti Krama we have seen. First, the Brahma gets endowed with tapas. Tapas here is the knowledge about the creation that is going to take place. Thereafterwards, what comes into existence is Annam. Annam is Avyakrita, unmanifest stage of the creation. From this unmanifest stage called Anna is born the Kriya Pradhana Hiranya Garbha, called here as Kriya Shakti Pranaha. Then Jnana Pradhana Hiranya Garbha, called as Manaha. Further, the 5 elements called Satya are born. Thereafter, what is born now? Let us see. Take Anvaya. Tataha bhumyadayaha lokaha jyotishthoadi karmasu amrutakhyam svargaphalam itham sarvam ajayata. Tataha here is then. Then means after the Bhuta Panchaka, 5 elements called Satya were born. So what is born is Bhumyadayaha lokaha. The lokaha, the fields of experiences. Loka means we call world. World also lokyate iti lokaha. That which is experienced, that is called loka. The fields of experiences, for example, Bhumi. Bhumi, earth. On earth, specific types of living beings are there who have got the specific type of capacity to undergo the specific experiences. And here on earth, the prominent embodiments are what? Whose embodiment? Human embodiment. On earth, birds, animals, reptiles, all creatures may be there. The prominent embodiment is the human embodiment. Not only that way, actually, in the entire creation, the most exalted embodiment is human embodiment. Do you know that? The crest jewel in the entire creation in terms of embodiment is human embodiment, which surpasses even the heavenly embodiments. The embodiments of denizens in the heaven, human embodiment is something which is special. That is why it is said, Jantunam Narajanma Durlabham. Among all the 84 lakhs of species, to get the human embodiment is very, very rare and very, very difficult. Why is it so? Actually speaking, human embodiment is subject to so many sorrows, tensions, confusions, limitations, etc. compared to heavenly embodiment. Heavenly embodiments have got a higher state, a higher standard of living. For example, you must have heard in Puranas, etc. In Manasa Sarovara, these Gandharvas and Kinnaras come and swim, etc. They enjoy. You go there after spending 80,000 rupees, 80, I don't know, it must have gone to lakh now. So So a lakh of rupees, you go there and you are a person, you are a champion in swimming and you would like to swim in the Manas Sarovara. Think of it. Even a dip will be costly. You have to keep another person ready with a way to pull you out, because the moment you take the dip, you will be frozen there. You have to be pulled out, otherwise you are gone forever. Why can't you enjoy? Gandharvas, and they are swimming, they say. Why? Their body is designed for that purpose. It can withstand that cold, not our body. It will get, in fact, Manasarova, no question of pneumonia. The fellow will get totally frozen there itself as such. Why? This body is not designed for that particular type of enjoyment. Like that. The heavenly enjoyment, this body has no visa there. Strict, no under the table deal there. Okay. So this body has no entry to heavens. And those embodiments are designed for finer enjoyment, which cannot be had by human embodiment. And diseases like this are not there in the heaven, they say. What about here? With all scientific advancement, number of diseases also are increasing now. According to Ayurveda, do you know, there are, I think, about 420 or some diseases are there. 410, 20 say. But I asked one doctor, what is the score now? He said, Swamiji, long back it has crossed 1,000. What is the score? Which score? Number of diseases. Number of diseases have crossed even a level of 1,000 years. So, such diseases are not there in the heaven. And yet, how say human embodiment is so precious and did the exalted embodiment? Because gaining the knowledge of one's Swarupa is possible only in the heavenly embodiment. Not heavenly, human embodiment. Only in this Manava Sharira, human embodiment. Do you know why? In this embodiment, you can, to an extent, see the joys that one can have. At the same time, you can have the experience of sorrow. In heavenly embodiment, you have no idea about the sorrow, always carried away by the joys, and therefore what happens? You have no perspective of life as such. Here it is not that, of course, not for all. For those who have got some viveka, those who use the sense of discretion, they can, to an extent, gauge the joys of living at a higher level. At the same time, they can be aware of the sorrows that we can get subjected to. That's why they say, Vedanta is not for those who are very, 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 very rich, like Ford, Rockefeller, etc., etc., etc. It is not meant for them because to great extent they may not have seen the sorrow. Vedanta is not meant for the dire poor people who are struggling for food. 2 square meals also they can't get. To them you should never teach Vedanta. They will turn communist afterwards. So best thing is that give them the food, little name of the Lord, etc. Such things, some bhakti can be inculcated, but not the Vedanta. But in between person who has seen the riches, etc. to certain extent, and this one can command to an extent in this human embodiment. Also the sorrows either in oneself or around with objective vision. Me being a human being, I am subjected to these things. One who has seen, that person can use the sense of discretion and try to inquire what is the true purpose of life. And that faculty of intellect is the prerogative of human embodiment or human being. That is why it is said human embodiment is very rare. And having got that human embodiment, first and foremost duty is what? Accomplish the goal for which it is designed. Human embodiment is designed for this purpose. What is this purpose? Knowing the true nature. That is why both provisions are there. Provisions in terms of experiencing the joys, at the same time suffering the sorrows at any length as such. That should give the sense of discretion, and one should take to inquiry. That being the case, as a human beings, we may have many duties. You know what is this? Duty means what? It is just like you go to a shop and you want to purchase something. Will the shopkeeper will give you? He has not opened a charitable institution there. You pay the price and take the goods what you want. That is the principle behind the sense of duty. This world is given to us by whom? The Creator, Ishvara. But for anything that you make use of, or anything that you get from this, you have to pay. What payment? Not in terms of rupees and dollars. In terms of actions that are expected of you depending on your status in life, in family, in society, in the nation, in the world. That is the price you have to pay in terms of discharging the duty. Why? For your sake, many are working. Suppose today sun doesn't rise, what will happen? If the air goes on strike, what will happen? If the fire becomes cold, what will happen? If the moon is not there, you may say, no, all these are, that means they are helpful to us. We take all the sun, moon, even the sky, space, all these are provided by who? Ishvara. We are making use of that. We have to pay in return. See, for the water that you get, you pay the municipal tax, water charges. How much tax or charge you pay to Ishvara for breathing the air? Has he asked for that? He doesn't want. But you should be aware of it. You should acknowledge it. That is what is required. So, for me, all these phenomenal powers are working. I am indebted to them. I have to discharge the duty that is expected of me. That means for those who are around me, etc., depending on my status. Serving the poor and the needy, because they are part and parcel of the world. I am capable. Let me do it to the extent that is also a what? Discharging the duty. All these duties are required because a duty-conscious person, if he doesn't discharge the duty, there is a sense of guilt. And that mind which has got the sense of guilt can never take to inquiry of Vedanta. Because I should have done, I have not done it. And if there may be many who don't discharge the duty and they don't have the sense of guilt at all. Such people are totally selfish. They are good for nothing because the identification with the body is so strong, it will take them many births to be aware of it and to take to this pursuit. So, all these duties need to be discharged, Shastra only says. But it also cautions, these duties you have to discharge to get that frame of mind that I have done what needs to be done. What is going to happen is bound to happen, but I am not responsible. But had I not discharged my duty, certainly I am accountable, but I have done what I have to do. Then comes the duty towards yourself. Why? Because you are a human being. If other than human being, this duty is not there. Being born as human being, I have a duty to discover what is my true nature. If this chance slips off, this chance means, have you got human embodiment or not? Anybody has got doubt about it? Anybody has doubt? Even if you have doubt, I won't accept at least. You know why? I am teaching. So I will have to question whom am I teaching. I am confident that I am teaching to human beings only as such. So therefore, having got this human embodiment, if that ultimate goal is not accomplished, what is that? It is a sheer waste of a precious opportunity that had come to us. No, Swamiji, we are Hindus. There is no problem of punarjanma for us. We'll do it in the next embodiment. Kali Yuga is advancing, and when the next don't think next embodiment is going to be human. Anything it can be human. Here is going to come. It can be dog or ant or cat or rat or anything it can be. And the next human embodiment, suppose when it comes after, because you have got punya also, at least whatever it may be, you are exposed to Vedanta. Punya on account of exposure to Vedanta, whether you get Atma Jnana or not is enormous. It is something enormous. As a result, where will you go? To heaven. And heaven for a long period of time, having got the holiday camp, when you return again, human embodiment, Kali Yuga has advanced to its what? This thing, even if you take the name of Gita, Upanishad, you may get rotten eggs also. Then what will happen? In spite of desire, you can't fulfill the goal. That's why, so that human embodiment should not be taken so lightly. That's why Shastra should be taken to. Shastra makes us aware of this, because this you will not get in internet and all mass media, you will not get all these things. You have to take recourse to Shastra. Shastras make us aware the precious opportunity of having got this human embodiment. That is why Keno Upanishad tells in a warning tone, Iha ched avedit atha satyam asti. If you gain this knowledge right now here before this body falls, well done, very good. Na chediha vedi. Whatever may be the reason, if you have not got this knowledge, mahati vinashti. The destruction is not ordinary, it is colossal, because the chance is slipped off. When the next is coming, only Bhagavan knows. So therefore, one should put forth all efforts to gain this knowledge right now here. Suppose, in spite of the best of the effort, if one is not able to, at least have that devotion to Ishvara, surrender to him. Oh Lord, I did my best, but somehow I could not. He will come to rescue. Then he will take care, either in this life or future, he will give you the opportunity so that you can finish this game once forever, never to return. So that is how it is. So that being the case, like this, depending on the karma phalas, there are different types of lokas. Bhumi adi. Bhuhu, bhuvaha, suvaha, mahaha, janaha, tapaha, satyam. These are the who is this, and afterward higher realms with better enjoyment, sense enjoyment. Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Patala, Mahatala, lower embodiment, like a tiffin carrier with 14 dabbas. One above the other. That is called Chaturdasha Bhuvanani. These Chaturdasha Bhuvanani are also clubbed in three lokas. Three lokas means not that these are three is different and 14 are different. The 14 themselves are clubbed into three. What are those? Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha. In this case, Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha. Bhuhu stands for this earth, and Antariksha, Bhuvaha, Suvaha, etc. up to Satam. And then Bhuhu is this earth and all those patalas. Bhuvaha as it is. Suvaha, Maha, Janada, Bhu, Bhuva, Suvaha, and above are Suvaha. All that is, totally they are 14 only, but clubbed as Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha. They are called this Bhumyadayaha Lokaha. The creation of different fields of experiences like earth, etc. Then in that afterwards, see, here the description is not complete, not total, with dots and dashes it is being given. Because Upanishads are never interested in giving you the theories of creation. The Upanishad don't bother about giving the details of creation, except to some extent, necessary extent, little hints here and there, because the mind of the seeker will ask always the question to satisfy. Few informations are given and it proceeds further to ascertain one's true nature. So therefore in between there are many things which have to be taken from other parts of the other Upanishads, etc. So now Bhumyadayaha Loka means what happened? Having created these lokas, the befitting embodiments in those lokas also were created. Means the embodiment, living beings were also created. Then what? For the human being, Jyotishthomadi karmasu amrutakhyam swargaphala. Jyotishthomadi karmasu. Karmas were given. See, with the creation, the creator Parameshwara, you know what he did? He created karma also, actions also. Anena prasavishadvam eshavostistu kamadhuk. May you prosper with this karmas. Let these actions, karmas, be like milch cow for you. Means whatever you want to accomplish, do accomplish them through these karmas. So, but there is one rule. What is that? Having done, performed, you are answerable for the results of karmas, whether good or bad. So that is the law. With that, the karmas were given to the human being for performance of or fulfillment of their desire. What are those? Jyotishthomadi karmasu. Actually, in Jyotishthomadi karma, locative is there. You have to take as first Jyotishthomadi, Upalakshana for all karmas that are told in the Vedas. They were created. Vaidika karmas are told. By indication, we have to take to Laukika karmas also. Actions, whether worldly or based on karma, these Vedas and Smritis are the means of, number one, fulfillment of desire. Number two, what it is will be seen just shortly. So, Jyotishthomadi karmasu, these karmas were created. And when the karmas are created, what happens? It says, Amrutakhyam Swarga Phalam. Its phala also was created, because you act without the result. Who will do that? Phalam anuddisha mandopi na pravartate. Even a veritable idiot will not take to any karma without keeping an eye on results thereof. So therefore, karmas, actions were created by Parameshwara. Why? For the sake of fulfillment desires the person, human being has got. Another thing, this eligibility to take to karma is only for human embodiment. That's why this earth is called karma bhumi, a field where fresh karmas, good or bad, can be taken to. Lokas like heavens, etc., or even the hell, etc., or animal embodiment, these embodiments are not designed for performance of new karma. They are called as bhoga bhumi and not karma bhumi. Means heavenly embodiments or animal embodiments, including so-called hellish embodiments, are meant only to undergo the results of heavenly enjoyment or bad in terms of suffering to any extent. It is only to exhaust the karma phalas in earlier embodiment depending on the specific embodiment ordered now, but new karmas are not possible. That's why in heavens, so new karmas cannot be taken to except the exception of some deities. Some deities have got that capacity to take to new karmas in the heaven, but in general, new karmas cannot be taken to. That's why they can't earn punya nor earn papa in the heaven. Even animal embodiment, suppose a dog does something good, no punya. It may get good food possibly from the master, but neither. Or dog does something, it is not going to get the papa. That's why suppose a cow, etc., misbehaves, who is punished? Is not dragged to the court. So, I don't nowadays. Olden days in the railway track, if a cow comes under a train, the owner was being punished for that. Fine was there. So why? Cow can't know. He has to, master has to take care of it. Did I tell you once? Long back, see, it is happened. The college was 20 miles away from my native place. So we used to go. The roads, bridges, etc. were not there. There were two, that means rivers to be crossed. And the bus used to go on a raft, two boat on a raft. The drivers are very smart. They drive in such a way, it goes and stands. One should know, otherwise it would zoom in the river. So on the raft as such, and on that means passengers etc. used to stand, and also across the river, they also used to be there. So I was going, one of my classmates from, not from my place, still further, he was also there. Very brilliant boy he was. But he was always reserved and not mixing with anyone, etc. And we are going. The ferry has started in midstream. All are quiet, nobody talking, etc. Going, it is a beautiful scene to enjoy as such, all nature around as such. Within no thing, this fellow slapped a villager that was just near him. Nobody knows what is happening. So because it is not correct. So everybody was alarmed aside. You know what happened? That poor villager was carrying a cow, and that cow stepped on his foot. The cow stepped on his foot, and this fellow slapped the villager. Of course, he could have behaved in a little more manner as such. No doubt, mistake is whose? Cow. He is holding responsible the owner as such. That is true, but he would have behaved a little more decently anyway as such. So, if an animal misbehaves, the master or owner is taken to task and not the animal, because they are programmed, they have this will on their own to do some action. They are always programmed by that karma. That's why it is called as karma bhoga bhumi and not karma bhumi. So therefore, here for human being to fulfill different types of desire, whether the worldly activities or Vedika activities, karmas are designed, and amrutakhyam swarga phalam. And they get the swarga phala, result of karma, because Vedika karmas are taken into account, called as what? Amrutakhyam. Called, akhyam means called amruta. Why it is akhyam called is that truly not amruta. Relatively amruta means for a long period compared to the human existence, one can stay there having the heavenly enjoyment. So amrutakhyam swarga phalam means karmas were created and its karma phala also was created. Itham sarvam ajayata. In this manner, everything was created. Just a rough Srishti Krama is given. In between, many things are there that were created in an order. That means from where the creation has come into existence? From Akshara Brahma. Now here is a pertinent doubt. Sir, how do you say from Akshara Brahma Jagat can be born? Why? What is the nature of Brahma? Avikari or Savikari? Subject to change or without change? Without change. Avikari. Any creation, any birth, does it not involve change? Is it not? How from Brahma Avikari, Jagat, which is nothing but Savikari, be born? If it is born, Brahma is Savikari and therefore it is no Brahma. A thing that undergoes change is not, that's why I say, Akshara Brahma, all features are given, it is Kutastha was told, means not subject to change. Such things cannot, a thing that changes cannot be Brahma. So therefore, if from Brahma, Jagat is born, that Brahma is no Brahma at all. And if you say Brahma has never changed, Jagat will never be born. How are you telling that Jagat is born from Akshara? ब्रह्मैव जगदाकारं स्याच्चेत् तद्विकृतं भवेत् नो चेत् जगन्न जायेतेत्यत्र प्रतिविधीयते ब्रह्म एव जगदाकारं स्यात् न चेत् जगत् न जायेत इति afterwards add shankayam iti afterwards add shankayam atra pratividhiyate first two doubts are posed and then the answer is being introduced based on forthcoming mantra. Brahma eva jagadakaram syatchi. If Brahma itself becomes jagadakara, means becomes the world, what does it mean? Brahma has undergone change. If it has undergone change, jagadakaram syatchi tad vikrutam bhave. That Brahma will vikari, it will be subject to modification. And if Brahma is subject to modification, it can't be Brahma because Brahma can never be subject to modification. Tad vikrutam bhavi. Suppose, no, Brahma doesn't undergo change. Chaitanya, the pure awareness principle, Chaitanya Brahma doesn't undergo change any time, etc. Jagat will not be born at all. Nauchet. If Brahma doesn't undergo change, Jagat na jayeta. Entire creation will not come into existence. The world will not be born. Iti shankayam sati. When such doubts crop up, atra, here means what? In the forthcoming portion of Shruti, Upanishad, we will see what it is. Pratividhiyate. The answer is given by the Upanishad itself. The Upanishad says, Yas sarvajna sarvavit yasya jnanamayam tapaha tasmad etad brahma nama rupam annam cha jayate. The Brahma, which is sarvajna, sarvavit, and whose tapas is jnanamayam tapaha. Tapaha, jnanamayam is what? Knowledge of creation. From that Brahma, what is that? Brahma. Tasmad etad Brahma. That Brahma there is Veda. Veda also has got the name Brahma. Veda, Nama Rupam. All the things having names and forms. Annam cha jayate. This anna is actual food, etc. is born. So, how from Brahma, which is Nirvikari, Jagat be born? The answer is being now given. Nirupadhi brahmata jagadakara bhang nahi. Mayopadhika evayam sarvajna srujate jagat. First line as it is, Nirupadhi Brahma Tattvam Jagadakara Bhang Nahi, add Bhavati. Ayam Mayopadhikaha Eva Jagat Eva Sarvajnaha Jagat Srujati. Ayam Mayopadhikaha Eva Sarvajnaha Jagat Srujati. First, the doubt that was posed is shown to be a justifiable doubt. What was the doubt? Brahma being Nirvikari, Jagat cannot be born because if it is born, Brahma is Nirvikari, it can't be Brahman. You are right. That is correct. From Nirvikari Brahma, Jagat cannot be born, he confirms. Nirupadhi Brahma Tattvam Jagadakara Bhag Nahi Bhavati. Brahma, free from all upadhis in its true nature, cannot by itself become the Jagat. This is true, accepted. That means, directly from Brahma, Jagat cannot be born. That is fine. The question hangs now. How the Jagat is born? There should not be Jagat, but Jagat is there or not? Jagat is there or not? World is there or not? You may doubt whether Brahma is there or not. That is a different thing. But you can't question Jagat is there or not. Why? Fortunately or unfortunately, we are there, is it not? That is what. Don't think Jagat means all this is Jagat. Jagat starts from where? Us. It starts from us. Verily, there. And how do you say it is not born? Yes, Jagat is born like this. How is that? Directly from Nirupadhi, free from any upadhi, Brahma Tattva, Jagat cannot be born, accepted. But Ayam Mayopadhikaha eva sarvadnyaha Jagat sujati. This Ayam means what? This Brahma, but how? Mayopadhikaha. With the upadhi, the conditioning of Maya Shakti, otherwise called as Prakriti, what does it do? It gets the status of Sarvadnyaha, Sarvashaktiman, Sarvavid, etc. Jagat Srujati, creates the Jagat. This is what it is. The Jagat on its, that is Brahma on its own cannot create the Jagat. Maya Shakti on its own also cannot create the Jagat. Why? Maya Shakti on its own, Prakriti is inert. In the presence of Brahma, inert Maya creates the Jagat. So this is what is called Purusha Prakriti. So the Purusha on its own can't create Jagat. Prakriti, creative power. Maya Shakti means Prakriti means creative power. Creative power, however mighty it can be, inert by itself, cannot create on its own. In the presence of Purusha, the Chaitanya Tattva, the Brahma Tattva, the Prakriti Maya does create the Jagat. So that's what. That is what Kalidasa at the beginning of Raghuvansh said. Vagartha viva sampraktau vagartha pratipattaye jagatah pitarau vande Parvati Parameshwarau. He offers the salutations to the Lord. Jagataha pitarau vande. I salute the original parents of this entire creation. Who are those? Parvati Parameshwarau. Parvati standing for Maya Shakti Prakriti Tattva. Parameshwara Shiva standing for Purusha. So how are they? Vagartha viva sampraktau. So blended like a word and its meaning. I salute them for what? Vagartha Pratipate. I am writing now Raghuvansha, so that all the nuances of the words must be very clear in my mind, so that the moment I write, I have got the idea it should be written. Otherwise, for one sentence, 100 times he has to refer the dictionaries, So, dictionary, that should not be the case as such. So, that is what. So, therefore, actually speaking, Purusha Tattva is only one. I don't know whether you know this. Mirabai, Mirabai. At that time in Vrindavan, there was one Goswami, very famous. So she sent a message that I would like to have your darshan. Goswami replied back, I don't see stree. I don't see any woman. Mirabai sent a reply. Till now, I was under the impression that in Vrindavana only one Purusha is there. But now I have come to understand there is another Purusha called Goswami, Dhanya Goswami. That Goswami came running because he could understand the stature of Mirabai. He came running, please excuse me. So that is what. What is that? Krishna alone is Purusha. Rest all is what? Gopis or Prakriti. That way, from Vedanta, In the entire world, in the human beings, there are only Stris only, no Purusha. How come? How come do you say so? No Purusha means no man at all. All are Stri only. You know, but how this man and woman division? It is like this. You know, in a college or a school, exclusively for girls or ladies, let us say, they are enacting a drama. No boys or no men. Even the staff also, teachers also are what? Ladies only. They are enacting a drama. And in that drama, male characters are there. Who will take the male character's part? Girls or ladies only, but dressed what? As male, is it not? Like that, all men are what? Are nothing but, so here, ladies mean not that way, Prakriti Tattva. All men also are nothing but Prakriti Tattva, but the embodiment is what? Designed as the male. What I mean by Prakriti Tattva is, whether man or woman, this embodiment is made up of what? 5 elements. 5 elements are from where? Prakriti, Maya. Purusha is who? Only one. Who is that Purusha? Chaitanya Tattva, Atma Tattva, Brahma Tattva. That alone is Purusha Tattva. Rest all are feminine principle. Masculine principle is only Purusha, Atma. Rest all Prakriti Tattva. From that standpoint, not that in Vyavahara, man, woman, these embodiments are not different, not from that. From ultimate standpoint, only one Purusha Tattva, rest all is nothing but Prakriti or Maya. So, this Brahma, that is what conditioned by Maya Upadhika, so then it gets the status of Sarvadnyaha. Sarvadnyaha, the one who knows everything in general, because Sarvavit word is going to come, one who knows everything in particular. Also Sarva Shaktiman, etc. to be taken. And that Brahma, Jagat Srujati, creates. Therefore, Brahma directly cannot create the Jagat. When endowed with Maya Shakti, see, Tapasa Chiyate Brahma, that tapas is nothing but the first activity of who? The Maya or Prakriti, which gives the knowledge of creation. So that which makes Brahma endowed with knowledge of creation. Of course, it is also because of who? Brahma, otherwise that power has no capacity. Sumayopadhikaha sarvadnyaha jagat srujati. So this is based on that mantra. Yas sarvadnya sarvavit yasya jnanamayam tapaha tasmad etad brahma nama rupamannam cha jayate. This is the Mundakopanishad. This is explained in 28 and 29. Further explanation. What is the sarvavit and sarvadnyaha? Samanya vritya sarvadnyo visheshena cha sarvavit. Jnanameva taposyasmad jagad vedadyajayata. What is the meaning of Sarvadnya and Sarvavit in the Shruti is explained. Anvaya. Samanya vritya sarvadnyaha visheshena cha sarvavit asya jnanam eva tapaha asmad vedadi jagat ajayata. Vedadi jagat ajayata. Samanya vritya sarvadnyaha. The same Brahma, when gets the upadhi of Maya or creative power, gets what? Gets the status of being Sarvadnyaha. Who is Sarvadnyaha? The one who knows everything. What is that? Samanya vritya. One who knows everything in general, without details, in general. That's what Sarvadnyaha. Visheshena cha sarvavit. Knowing everything in particular, specifically with all details. That is the status of being Sarvavit, because Otherwise, Sarvajnaha, Sarvavid means one who knows everything. Both words are used, therefore, distinction in that meaning is there. Sarvavid. Asya jnanam eva tapaha. Earlier we have seen tapaha. What is the tapaha? Jnanam. What jnanam? About the creation. See, even when you say Brahma, Mayopadhika called what? Brahma with Maya Upadhi, Prakriti Upadhi is called what? Ishvara, Parameshvara. Parameshvara is said to be. Brahma is neither Sarvajna, Sarvavid because there is nothing other than Brahma. But when the Ishvara status has come because of Maya, it gets the Sarvajnatva and Sarvashaktimatva. What do you mean by Sarvashaktimatva? All omnipotent. What do you mean by omnipotent? Because generally some people to screw. You know what is that? See, look, you say Parameshvara as omnipotent. Is it not? Can this Parameshvara, you see, go against his laws? If he goes against his laws means what? He is not Parameshvara. Or no. If he can't go against his laws means what? He is not omnipotent. He has no capacity to go against his laws. And if he goes against his laws, his laws are defective, not infallible. So therefore he is not omnipotent. Like this they say. There is a catch there. If yes, you are caught. If you say no also you are caught. Ishvara is not omnipotent. That Sarva Shaktiman omnipotency should be understood properly. What is that omnipotency? Srishti, Utpatti, Sthiti, Samhara. All powers are at the command of who? Ishvara. And how we can do? Sankalpa Matrena. Don't think that he runs after here into creating and sustaining and destroying as such, just by Sankalpa. Have you seen Vishnu's photograph? Padmanabh Swami at Tiruvananthapuram. Hi, Mastaram, this is what he is lying. And they say he is in Yoga Nidra. If you lie down, lazy fellow, sleeping, they will say, sleeping, they will say. For Vishnu, he said what? He is in Yoga Nidra, say. You know what is that? And do you know what is Vishnu's job? Sustaining the creation. Ask the organizers for organizing this camp how much they have to how much they have to run up and down even after coming here as such. So, and entire creation has to be sustained, and this guy is what? High. So he is lying down there. You know what is that? Just by presence he activates everything. You know who is the true boss, you know? In a big office, let us say a company, etc. Who is the true boss? Who simply sits in the cabin by mere presence, makes everyone act. And say, suppose, generally it happens though, when the cat is out, rats are enjoying. When the boss is out, all are enjoying. Suppose when he comes, tuck, 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 by the sound of the boot itself, all computers, all files, all everything start moving. Why? The boss is there. Let him simply sit in the cabin there, everything goes on. He is the boss. Not the one who goes, hey, do this, hey, do this, hey, do this. He is supervisor. Okay, so he is not the boss. So Ishvara is the boss. Not running after Tom, Dick, Harry to ask them to do this thing. Simply by presence activate. So that is how is that Sarvajnaha, Sarvavid, Sarva Shaktiman by Upalakshana have to be taken. Ta asya. That was Sarvavid. Asya jnanam eva tapaha. Asya means mayopadhikasya brahmanaha. Brahma who is mayopadhika, he is what? Jnanam eva tapaha. His tapas is nothing but the knowledge of creation. And asmad. Asmad means from this mayopadhika Brahma, who has got the status of Parameshvara, Ishvara now. So see, the status of Ishvara to Brahma is from the standpoint of creation. Otherwise, Brahma doesn't have the status of Ishvara. Mr. So and so, a gentleman, has the status of father from the standpoint of children. A lady so and so has the status of mother from the standpoint of children. Left to themselves, he is a gentleman, she is a lady. So like that. Brahma is Brahma. There is no status of either Jiva or Ishvara. But from the standpoint of creation, as the creator, Mayopadhi, he gets the status of what? Ishvara. Same Brahma with the Upadhi of Avidya. What status? What we are. Okay. What we are as what? Samsari Jiva. But in reality, what is it? One and the same Brahma Tattva. So that Brahma Tattva has neither the statuses of Ishvara or Jiva. But with this Upadhi, this status is come. So Asmat, from this Mayopadhika Brahma, what happens? Vedadi Jagat Ajayata. Veda, that in mantra, Brahma, the Brahma, Nama, etc. Brahma means Veda. Veda, etc. Adi for Nama, Rupa, Anna, the food, etc. All this is born. With this, the Paravidya Prakarana is concluded. In stanza 18, only Paravidya was concluded. In stanza 18, Paravidya was concluded. But here, the very section of Paravidya is concluded to further elaborate Aparavidya. Aparavidya was only hinted earlier, but it also should be made known thoroughly. So that will be taken afterwards, after concluding this Paravidya Prakarana. Jagat Karanam Advaitam Jnatavyam Paridyaya. Jnatesmin sarva jagatas tattvam yattad vibudhyate. Jagat Karanam Advaitam Paravidyaya Jnatavyam. Jagat Karanam Advaitam Paravidyaya Jnatavyam. Asmin Jnati Sarva Jagataha Yat Tattvam Tad Vibudhyati. Asmin Jnati Jagataha Yat Tattvam Tad Vibudhyati. Jagat Karanam Advaitam Paravidyaya Jnatavyam. The cause of entire creation, in the sense the very basis of entire creation, without which creation is just not possible. That, and what is that? Advaitam, Advaita Akshara Brahma, the all-pervasive knowledge principle, all-pervasive Chaitanya Tattva, pure awareness principle. This Advaitam Paravidyaya Jnatavyam should be known by Paravidya. What happens if I know, if I gain this knowledge? Because after all, human being is utilitarian. Why should I know it? Asmin Jnati. When this is known, directly cognized, Sarva Jagataha Yat Tattvam Tad Vibudhyate. Whatever is of the Tattva. Tattva means Vastavika Swarupa, real nature. Tattva not simply principle, etc. Tattva means Vastavika Swarupa, or real nature. Of what? Sarva Jagataha, of entire creation. Whatever the true nature, real nature, Vastavika Swarupa of entire creation is there, Tad Vibudhyati, that is known. So what you may say? Afterwards, some added information? No. That itself is the culmination of Purushartha. Why? The Vastu itself is so. What is our Purushartha? All that we struggle for is to get happiness, freedom from sorrow, including freedom from death, because death is the death gives the maximum sorrow to the dying and the surviving ones. So therefore, freedom from sorrow, this discovery itself is the accomplishment, because Atma Sarupa, Brahma Sarupa is indestructible, Ananda Sarupa, no trace of sorrow, no birth, no death. So therefore that knowledge itself is the accomplishment of the final goal. Earlier it was pointed out. In contrast to karma, in karma you should know how to do karma and perform the karma to get the result. Here, knowledge itself is the fruition of one's accomplishment in terms of discovery of oneself, free from all limitations, free from samsara. Now, having explained, with this, the first mundaka, first section of first mundaka is over. You have seen 3 mundakas, 3 chapters. With each chapter, mundaka having 2 sections are there. The first section of first mundaka is over. Now, second section of first mundaka begins. Having described what para vidya is, now what is apara vidya is being now elaborated. Earlier it was simply hinted, now it is being explained. So in this, that the karmas are brought in picture. Shruti says, Tadetat satyam mantreshu karmani kavayaha yanyapashan tani tretayam bahudha santatani. Mundaka 1-1. He says, this is satya. What is satya? This karma, relatively. Why? Having performed, result is inevitable. So therefore, he says, Tadetat satyam, and this mantreshu karmani, in terms of mantras and karma, which kavayaha yanyapashan, great sages who have seen, and these karmas were profusely available where in Treta Yuga. Tani Tretayam bahudha santatani. They were extensively available in Treta Yuga, because in Treta Yuga the prominence for Yajna Yagas was very much. In Kali Yuga, Yajna Yagas, Vaidika karmas have no much relevance, because the human embodiment has become weak, and and many obstructions are there. Therefore, the Puranic version comes in picture for practical purpose in terms of the glory of the name of the Lord. That is what they say. Kali Yuga has one advantage. Kali Yuga has all disadvantages, because nothing but disadvantage only. Because nothing of the Shastra can be available, and if you want to do something good, thousands of obstructions will be there. But one advantage is that in Kali Yuga, the efficacy of name of the Lord is so much that it can accomplish the result of all these karmas and yajna yagas which were the means in other yugas. That's why they say that is this Devas means not Devatas who have got the knowledge. Other denizens, they aspire to gain the birth in Kali Yuga. And what we do? Having got the embodiment, we let it go just like that, not knowing the importance, See, any precious thing, if one gains just like that, it loses the value. But if the fellow has to sweat and toil and to overcome thousands of obstacles, that value is recognized. The father is earning by sweating and toiling. He has got the value for the money. And this fellow is what? Spendthrift, because he has never worked. Readily, that is how parents are spoiling the children also. I think it is the only specific feature of Indians, I believe. So, leave behind for 7 generations. Earn and this thing as such. So they should, but they should know the value of wealth also. For that they should be made to. That's why I see in olden days, even the prince in Gurukula has to live like any other common student, not like all the luxuries were not there, sweating and toiling, because he knows that with dignity of labor. So the dignity of labor must be known well. Even Krishna demonstrated. For Krishna, no action was mean. You mean driving the chariot? Arjuna Sarathi, a driver, why should he become? And that also dangerous. No, why? When arrow comes, first to whom it comes? The Sarathi, and then to the warrior. In fact, Krishna's body was bleeding. Dharmaraja and Arjuna were cursing. The one whom we have to adore, we have subjecting, but they had no other go as such. That's the dignity of labor. So even when, what is that? Even when every day the war was over, in the evening they used to go Sandhyavandan, etc. Do you know what Krishna was doing? He was taking the horses to the river, giving them bath, give massage and bandage the wound. Dharmaraja was coming and telling, Bhagavan, we have got servants, they will do, you don't do. No. Do you know why? Not that. That love of the charioteer to the horses, then only they will obey.
Om Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayana Nyayena Margena Mahimahesha Guru Brahmanebhya Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanya Prithvi Sasya Shalini Desho Yangsho Varahita Brahmana Santu Nirmaya Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaśyid Dukha Bhag Bhave Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amsamgamaya Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purmadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om